Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is of course Jack and welcome back to Lumber Tycoon 2. Bit of an interesting one today. Now I just want to put this out there before we start this video. If you already know about this and you're like, oh my god, everyone knows about this, you're wrong. Hardly anybody knows about this. So don't go down in the comments being like, oh my god, clickbait, clickbait. Like, this would... hardly anybody knows about it. Even I didn't know about it. Not even Heath Haskins Code Primate knew about this before I called him about 30 minutes ago. But then again, a couple of people, you know, OG players of Lumber Tycoon that have tried and tested anything and everything in the game obviously will know this. In today's video, getting to the point, I am going to show you the secret type of wood that hardly anyone knows about in Lumber Tycoon 2. Before we do get into this video though, be sure to go down below, like, comment and subscribe. We just hit 12k yesterday and we're now on 12.1k, which is absolutely amazing. So this is road to 15,000 subscribers, and if you would consider subscribing, it would mean the world. Okay, so in order to make this secret type of wood, you are going to need a sold sign. So this wood does have a name, and I did confirm this before anyone says, oh, you just made that name up. I confirmed and I asked Defaultio what this wood was called, and this is how to make sign wood, which isn't really on the wiki. It's only mentioned once in the wiki about these sold signs. But it isn't an official wood type on the wiki. But Defaultio confirmed to me yesterday when I asked him what it was called. He said it's called sign wood. So all you're going to need to do to get this wood is have a sold sign. You want to take your sold sign and you're going to want to, I suppose you could theoretically probably use any sawmill you wanted to. However, it's by far the easiest to go and use the biggest sawmill that's in the game. I set it to 1 unit. So 1 by 1 on the sawmill just here. And you're going to want to do the glitch that we do in order to fit bigger pieces of wood into our sawmill. So by going move and then dragging the sign down into where the sawmill would be. And the sign will get stuck. You're going to have to give it a bit of a nudge. And as you can see, our sign has just milled into a piece of wood. Now, this piece of wood here is probably the most unique piece of wood in the whole of Lumber Tycoon 2. Now, you might be thinking, Jack, this just looks like a piece of elm wood. No, this is not a piece of elm wood. This wood right here is scripted totally differently to elm wood. So I think this is elm wood right here. If I've put that side by side there, you would think that that is elm wood. It has a totally different monetary value, so it sells for a completely different amount. And the other interesting thing about this wood is it is unchoppable. So you can go and take any axe that you want to. This is the most insane thing about this. Even the candy cane axe you can take to this wood, and it won't drop out your hand, but you cannot chop it. Me and Electro were talking, and we've kind of sort of settled on the fact that this wood must have an infinite health. So you can click as many times as you want to. You can even go and take this over to a sawmill, and a sawmill will not chop this wood. So it's almost like the axe recognizes that there's wood there, but it won't chop it. So this is sign wood. Hardly anybody knows about it in Lumber Tycoon 2. However, it's pretty interesting in the fact that you can fill blueprints with it. So you can take this over to a blueprint, chuck it in, or not, chuck it in, and it will fill like any other type of blueprint. Now, admittedly, it doesn't look any different to elm wood, so in the point of building, there really is no point to it. There is no point to sign wood because you could literally go and fill a piece of, you could literally go and fill a blueprint in with elm wood and it would be completely identical. However, the fact that you cannot chop this wood, the fact that the candy cane axe doesn't fall out your hand when you go to chop it, the fact that this has its own monetary value, I think it sells for about 150. So this is a pretty special wood, I think we can all agree. The fact that this is probably the one wood that once sawmilled is worth less than the original. So, you know, when you go and take a piece of wood, for instance, say I went and chopped down an oak tree and went and sold it off, it would give me like, what, pennies. If I went and sawmilled it, it would give me more money. If I go and sawmill this sign, it will give me less money to me just going and selling the sign normally, which obviously makes no sense. The one reason why I'm doing this video is that this is hardly publicized on YouTube. There is only one video that I found on YouTube, and that's by Bunny Films 2 years ago. And it only had like 16,000 views on it. So, like, you know, 16,000 people at the time of when that video released know about this. And anyone else that obviously went to try it in past that point. So we're going to go ahead and do this again. The fact that I went and spoke to Defaultio and confirmed with him that this is a different type of wood and that this has a different name, sign wood, makes it all the more interesting for me. I think it's a lot easier if you go and put it in the other way. So if we just turn this round and hit B, or don't do that, don't hit jump, I need to turn shift lock off. There we go. Let's try again. There we go. Oh no, it glitched. No. Oh no. Right, I'm going to load on my other slot because I do have another piece of this wood that I did yesterday. So let me load into that slot. So here we are. This is the piece from yesterday, just to prove that it's the same wood. I'll go ahead. Yeah, there you go. Obviously, you know, not chopping as sign wood does. Right, I was just thinking, and I just set it to Electrotech. I wonder what happens if you try to make firewood with this. So, like, you know, over at the cabin, I wonder if you can make firewood with it. By the way, guys, it'd been pretty interesting to see if any of you guys has any thoughts of what we could do with this wood, because it's obviously a really odd, like, concept to have a piece of wood that you can't chop, but also the fact that the candy cane axe chops it makes me wonder if there's a point to the wood. It's obviously scripted in order to have the chop effect. It's just obviously got an infinite health. Or it just... I don't even know. I don't even know if you... Well, he could program a wood to not take damage. I suppose it's similar in some ways to how the end times tree doesn't take damage from any other axes than the end times axe. But at the same time, that doesn't make any sense, because when you try to chop end times wood with an axe that isn't the end times axe, the axe will just fall out your hand. Whereas with this type of wood, like, it just continuously chops but doesn't deal any damage to it. So it's totally different. The one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go and test it inside the cabin to see if we can make firewood with it. But one thing I am going to do at the same time of blowing the rocks up, I'm going to actually see whether it's choppable via, like, exploding it, because I think that that would just be a really interesting test, and I've just got to hope that it doesn't sort of, like, fly away too far and hope that it just bounces off the rocks. So, fingers crossed this doesn't go pear-shaped, because otherwise I might cry. Well, I survived the blast. It's... Right, okay, not even an explosion will chop this. Electro just made the point that it would actually be really good to make a TNT launcher out of, considering it, you know, you can't blow it up. It's a pretty good point, to be fair. This is obviously the cabin. If you didn't know about the cabin, it was a part of the 2017 winter event, and pretty much it was... I explained this in the video, like, the other day about game passes and, you know, etc. Pretty much you drop a load of wood into here in 2017, and it was snow glow wood that you dropped into it, actually, like yellow wood, and there'd be a little arrow that was here that would tick up the more wood that you put in, and then if you got it up to the top, then you would then get a badge, which would be the winter 2017 event badge. And then that was, you know, that was just something to do with Roblox. But the cabin has never been removed. The cabin remained ever since. Like, so this has, like, been here for 4 years now with no use. But the one thing that you can do is you can go and drop a piece of wood into here, and it will make firewood. So you can go and grab, like, a piece of wood and chuck it into here, and it will make firewood. It doesn't have any use. You can't move it once you've done it. So it does a little ping to you, and then you can walk into here. So it might be that the cabin doesn't take, like, smaller pieces of wood, like, in order to make it into firewood. I don't remember that being a thing, but maybe it was. So if I just chuck a bigger piece in, right, there's this firewood here. It doesn't have any use. You can't pick it back up. You can't fill blueprints with it. I know that Bunny Films did a video on that. So, okay, if I put that piece of wood in there, it's actually going to be too small in order to make firewood anyway. So there's no point in me testing that. What else can I test with it? I'm just trying to think of anything that it could possibly do. It's just like, no one thinks to go and mill a sign. Like, well, maybe some people do. I don't know, like, you know, so I've never gone and done it. If you think that sign wood has a purpose within Lumber Tycoon 2, go and leave it down in the comments below, because I'd love to hear your theories on what you think this wood could be. If you already knew about this wood and you clicked on the video expecting it to be something more exciting, then I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. However, for the new people that are coming into Lumber Tycoon 2, or to the people that have just never seen this before, this is probably really interesting, as I think it's really interesting, but maybe that's just because I'm sad. But guys, if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to go down below, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications if you want to be kept updated with my latest videos. Apart from that, guys, I will catch you in my next video. Hope you've been enjoying the more frequent uploads, and yeah, catch you in my next video.